Have you ever stood at the edge of a room that looked perfect and still felt something in you say, "Not this one"? The colors were right. The furniture was clean. Everything in place. But the space didn't breathe. It didn't welcome. It felt paused. In Feng Shui, this isn't about style. It's about energy. And sometimes the energy in a room stops moving long before we notice. A bowl of forgotten water, a window that's never opened, an air vent quietly blocked. They don't look like problems, but they hold on to something stale, something stuck. And when energy gets trapped, so does clarity, so does ease, so does that soft feeling of, yes, I belong here. But here's the beauty. You don't have to change your whole home. You don't need to shift furniture or chase perfection. Sometimes all it takes is water and air and the gentle awareness of where life stopped flowing. In this video, we'll explore 7 Feng Shui mistakes you can gently fix with these 2 softest elements. Not rules, just reminders to let your space exhale and let you feel alive inside it again. Start here. Let your home breathe with you. Mistake 1. Stale water in decorative bowls. A glass bowl sits on the shelf. Clear, elegant, untouched. It was meant to reflect calm. But over time, it stopped reflecting anything. Now, it just holds stillness and the weight of air that hasn't moved in days. It looks peaceful, but peace without flow is just quiet decay. In Feng Shui, water is movement. It represents flow, intuition, emotions, and yes, even money. Still, water, especially in decorative bowls, holds on to what should have been released. When water sits too long, it becomes energetically full. It stops calling energy in. It starts absorbing what the room couldn't process. Instead of circulating qi, it begins to pull in stagnation, emotional fog, cluttered thoughts, tired moods that settle in without permission. This is the mistake of the holder. The part of us that clings to what once felt soothing but no longer serves. It's that version of you that keeps things just in case. Not out of love, but out of fear that flow might not return again. So you hold the bowl, you keep the water, you let it sit, thinking it brings calm. But really, it mirrors the part of you that's afraid to pour out what no longer gives back. Think about the glass of water you meant to drink last night. It's still there by your bed, untouched, clouded. You don't want it anymore, but you also don't throw it out. It's a quiet act of postponing release, a subtle form of clutter that speaks louder than you think. And just like that glass, your space holds energetic leftovers. You meant to clear, but didn't. From a healing lens, still water becomes a micro-environment. Dust, bacteria, even mold spore can begin to gather within just a few days. The body responds to environmental signals, even subtle ones. Stale water signals nothing's moving. And when your senses pick that up, Your brain shifts into quiet alert. It starts conserving energy, holding tension, shutting down the creative flow. Even if you don't see the water change, your nervous system feels it. If there's a bowl of still water in your home, maybe it's time to pour it out with intention. Not just as a chore, but as a ritual. Open a window. Let the air in. And as the water drains, say quietly to yourself, I release what no longer flows. Have you kept water like this before? Comment below with what you're ready to clear. Emotionally, energetically, even physically. Because let's be honest, we've all got that one pretty bowl we forgot to clean for, like 3 weeks. Mistake 2. Windows that never open. Some windows stay closed. Not because they're stuck, but because we forget they exist. The curtains stay drawn. The glass collects dust. And the breeze that once whispered through goes somewhere else. What was once a gateway for breath slowly becomes a wall, and the room starts holding its breath along with you. In Feng Shui, air is qi in motion. It's not just background, it's the carrier of life force. When windows stay closed for too long, energy inside the home becomes old. It circles the same corners. Without renewal, the space begins to feel flat, heavy, disconnected. Fresh air is one of the simplest ways to invite in new energy. But when we block it, we block the reset our space naturally craves. This is the mistake of the withholder, the part of us that wants control, that keeps the outside world out to feel safe, but ends up building a container that's too tight to grow in. It's the self that's used to holding back. That doesn't trust movement, because movement means change. So we shut the window, not to protect ourselves, but to avoid feeling what change might bring in. It's like holding your breath for too long because the next breath feels uncertain, or choosing recycled air over the unknown scent of spring. We do this all the time, not just with windows, but with ideas, with friendships, with hope. We keep things closed, even when nothing's threatening us. From a biological view, stale indoor air can build up carbon dioxide, dust, and irritants that quietly affect our energy levels and mood. Low oxygen levels can trigger fatigue. Lack of airflow affects sleep quality, cognitive clarity, and even how well we emotionally regulate. Opening a window, even for 5 minutes, signals the nervous system that movement is safe again. It reconnects us to the world and resets the chemistry of the space we live in. If there's a window in your home that hasn't been opened in weeks, go to it today. Gently pull the curtain back, unlock it, and let the air remind your home what freedom feels like. Let the breeze carry something out. Let it bring something new in. And if you feel something shift, even slightly, comment below. Tell me what that window means to you. And hey, if the first gust of wind brought in a leaf, or a bug, or knocked over a paper, that's okay too. That's life coming back in. Mistake 3. Air vents blocked by furniture or plants. The air is trying to move. but something's in its way. A cabinet, a plant, a chair you forgot you pushed there. It doesn't seem like much, but when you stand in the room long enough, you feel it. The air feels confused, like it doesn't know where to go. And so it stays, heavy, invisible, and stuck. In Feng Shui, air vents are the lungs of your home. They're not just mechanical features. They guide how qi flows through each space. When vents are covered or blocked, air stops circulating freely. Instead of flowing, it gathers behind objects, creating energy dead zones. And over time, those areas start to hold tension, emotionally, physically, energetically. This is the mistake of the over-accommodator, the self that tries to fit everything in, that says yes to more decor, more storage, more, just one more thing, until space gets sacrificed without noticing. It's the part of us that forgets to breathe while making sure everything looks right. But what's the point of beautiful furniture if it cuts off the life force behind it? Imagine trying to speak while someone gently presses their hand to your chest. You're still alive, but your voice doesn't come out the same. Your home is trying to speak through breath, through air, through softness. When a vent is blocked, it's like silencing the room without knowing you did. Blocked vents affect both temperature and air quality. They strain your HVAC system, cause uneven heating and cooling, and increase allergens and humidity in hidden spots. More than that, your body responds to uneven air movement. It creates low-level discomfort, tension you can't quite explain. You're not imagining it. Your nervous system is registering it. Every minute you stay in that space. Walk around your home today. Find every vent. Ask yourself, can this one breathe? If it can't, move what needs to be moved, even just a few inches. Let the air through and say gently, I give space to what needs to flow. If this resonates, drop a comment below with what you just uncovered. Sometimes, all it takes is noticing. And if you find a sock stuck in the vent, or a plastic bag you didn't know was there, that counts as energy clearing too. Mistake 4. Bathroom exhaust fan that's never used. The bathroom is quiet. Too quiet. Steam lingers after every shower. The mirror fogs up. The air feels warm, but not fresh. You walk out and close the door behind you, thinking the room will take care of itself. But it doesn't. The energy you left inside stays inside. In Feng Shui, the bathroom is a space of release. It's where energy is meant to leave the body and the home. But without airflow, nothing fully exits. Moisture stays suspended. Qi hangs around too long. And instead of clearing, the bathroom becomes a pocket of recycled stagnation. The exhaust fan isn't just for scent or steam. It's the energetic vent that lets the room exhale. This is the mistake of the avoider. The self that wants to move on, but skips the step of true release. The part that says, I'm fine, but never really lets the emotion move through. So it builds. In the corners, behind the mirror, inside the air that never got cleared, we all have rooms inside us that need better ventilation. It's like wiping away tears, but not breathing after crying. You clean the surface, but your system stays full. A bathroom without circulation is like a conversation that never finished. There's always something left behind. When bathroom air stays moist, it becomes a perfect home for mildew and bacteria. More than just physical, that invisible dampness creates a sense of heaviness and low-grade irritability. Your body knows when something hasn't been released. And when the environment repeats that daily, you start to carry it without realizing why. Next time you use the bathroom, don't take one more step. Turn on the fan. Let it run, even for a few minutes after you leave. Say gently to the room, "Thank you, you can let this go now." Have you ever forgotten to clear a space that was meant to help you release? Share it below. Your story might unlock someone else's breath. And yes, if you finally clean that dusty fan cover today, that counts as emotional hygiene too. Mistake 5. Sinks that drip or don't drain smoothly. You hear it at night. The faint drip, the pause, then drip again. Or maybe it's the water that pools too long. You wash your hands, but the sink hesitates. It holds on, just a bit longer than it should. The water wants to leave, but something resists. And you feel it too, even if you don't name it. In Feng Shui, water is a carrier of energy. When it flows smoothly, it clears. When it hesitates or drips, it disrupts the rhythm of release. A dripping faucet creates a leak in focus. A slow drain mirrors a blocked process. Both interrupt the natural flow that your space is asking for. Energy, like water, needs a clear exit. Without it, things circle, things build, and clarity gets lost in the delay. This is the mistake of the suppressed releaser, the version of us that tries to let go, but only in fragments. It's the person who forgives, but keeps the resentment quietly nearby. The one who speaks, but never really says the whole truth. Like the water, we pause, we drip, we hold, and the space mirrors that subtle stuckness back to us. It's like sending a text you wish you could take back, or holding in a sigh, until it becomes tension in your shoulders. A sink that doesn't drain. Drained isn't just plumbing. It's a symbol of energy not being given the full permission to leave. Slow drains and leaks contribute to mold, rot, and waste buildup. Even a small drip can waste gallons of water over time. But beyond function, the sound and rhythm of these disruptions affect the nervous system. Your body listens, even when you don't, and that slow leak becomes a slow stress you carry without knowing. Take a moment to check your sinks today. Let it be a ritual. Turn the faucet, watch the drain, listen closely. If something's off, fix it, or at least name it, and whisper to yourself as the water flows clean again. Everything I no longer need is free to leave. Comment below with what you're letting go of this week, even if it's just one drip of an old story. Also, if you Googled how to unclog a sink with baking soda at 2 a.m. you're not alone. We've all been there. Mistake 6. Misting plants without moving the air. You mist your plants in the morning. A gentle spray, tiny droplets floating in the light. It feels nurturing, like care made visible. But the room stays closed. No window open. No breeze to carry the mist away. The moisture settles. The energy thickens. And what began as care becomes a kind of quiet congestion. In Feng Shui, water nourishes, but only when it moves. When mist rises without air to guide it, it doesn't just disappear, it lingers, adding weight to the space without intention. Plants need humidity, but your space needs flow. Without circulation, the mist becomes static. And stagnant mist is like emotional buildup, invisible but felt. This is the mistake of the over-nurturer. The self that gives, without clearing, that offers care, but forgets to breathe after. It's the part of us that loves deeply, but forgets boundaries, that holds space for others. While our own energy sits still, like the mist, our kindness can settle heavy. When it's not allowed to move on, it's like lighting incense and never cracking the window. The scent becomes too much. What was once sacred turns overwhelming, or like saying what's in your heart, but never letting the silence answer back. Without movement, even good things become too much. Still, humidity encourages mold, dust mites, and poor air quality. Rooms with plants often become microclimates. If not ventilated, they start to shift the mood, physically and emotionally. The body interprets high humidity and low airflow as discomfort, fatigue, mental fog. It's not just moisture, it's energetic weight. Next time you mist your plants, open the window first, or turn on a small fan. Let the air carry the care, not just deliver it. And say quietly to the room, "What I give, I also release." Have you ever felt like you gave too much and held too much at once? Comment below if this resonates. Let's name it and clear it together. And yes, if your plant is dramatic and only revives after misting, you're not crazy. Some of them really do enjoy attention. Mistake 7. Close doors between rooms all day. Doors mean privacy, boundaries, rest. But too many closed doors, for too long, can turn a home into compartments. Each room holds its own air, its own mood, its own silence, and slowly, the house stops feeling whole. Like each space is breathing alone, instead of together. In Feng Shui, doors are not just barriers. They're portals of qi. They help energy circulate, room to room, heart to heart. When doors stay closed all day, the energy fragments. Some rooms get stuck. Some get overcharged. The flow breaks. And a home without flow becomes a home without harmony. This is the mistake of the self-protective separator. The part of us that isolates to feel safe, but ends up feeling more alone. It's the just let me be energy. The I'll deal with it later energy. The part that quietly disconnects, even from what it loves. Closed doors protect, but they also disconnect. It's like having all your group chats on mute because you're too tired to respond, or like wearing noise-cancelling headphones all day, then wondering why the world feels far away. Sometimes what we call peace, that is really just energetic silence. And silence, it needs to be opened, to be healed. Closed doors affect airflow, temperature regulation, and even mental orientation. Studies show that continuous disconnection within a space affects communication, attention, and emotional tone. Your brain processes open versus closed space differently. A closed room can trigger subtle isolation, and when every room is closed, it reinforces a pattern of internal withdrawal. Today, choose one door to leave open. Let air move freely from one part of your life to another, and as you do, say quietly, I allow connection again. Have you ever closed off a part of your home to feel safe, but ended up feeling stuck? Leave a comment if you've done this. You're not alone. And hey, if your pet uses that open door as their personal runway, that's just extra chi in motion. Sometimes healing your space doesn't require big changes. It just asks you to notice what's been quietly stuck. A bowl of water, a window unopened, a door that stayed closed because you thought it was safer that way. But now you know better. Now you can breathe different. If this video stirred something in you, tap like, subscribe for more Feng Shui wisdom, and share it with someone who might be holding their breath in a space that needs fresh air. Your space isn't just a place, it's a conversation. Every shift you make is a message to life itself. Your space speaks. Wisdom listens.